Well, the crowd is filling in as the celebrity status, quite frankly, of the athletes is picking up. We are going to stick to the scheduled time as much as we can. The matches are ending relatively quickly as we thought. So we're about 90 seconds away from the start of our first main card match. And obviously Malachi and Jake have, some credentials to their name, but now we're really getting into some serious athletes, top 10 team athletes from the games last year, and Kyra Milligan, a 2024 individual games athlete. She'll be on the right side of the screen in the blue sports bra. Kelly Stone on the left in the green and pink. We talked about a couple minutes ago why both athletes could potentially win this match, but when it comes down to it, Bella, who are you picking?
I don't like this question. I'm going to go with Kelly, because I think she's the redemption story, and that's why we're here. I think Kyra has another shot at continuing to prove herself. So for me, it's not about the fitness. For me, it's about the storyline, and this is for Kelly.
Yeah, I think Kelly Stone is certainly not a bad pick. In some ways, she's like the biggest wild card of these next three matches, because I haven't seen her do individual competition in a while. At least I haven't. But we know she has tremendous capacity. I also think that Kyra Milligan is in some of the best form that she's ever been in her life. And I think that she's going to have a little bit of pride here when it comes to wanting to represent herself as a games athlete now. So I'll go against you once again and take Kyra. If you haven't seen the sequence up to this point, it's 3 minutes of work, 1 minute of rest for a maximum of 5 rounds, 12 box jump overs, 6 thrusters, 105 pounds for these ladies, and 12 chest bar pull-ups.
3, 2, 1, go!
They do have the option to do rebounding step downs. I think that both of the female pro matches have made kind of a ladies' agreement to go for step downs rather than the rebound, just in the preservation of health in the midst of competition. So far, it looks like that's the case. And both women are going to be coming off the first round at the same time. And so far, I don't see the urgency from either woman that we saw from at least one athlete in all of the 3 previous matches.
No, I think they're both running their own race here, but Kyra's a little bit quicker on that barbell, trying to get out of the pain cave as quickly as she possibly can, which was in round 1. They can go fast with 2:39. We'll see if they can make it out at interval number 1.
Yeah, and Kyra Milligan, with the range of motion on the thruster and the capacity on the gymnastics, some of these movements, as you alluded to, are definitely in her wheelhouse. But as the women come off the bar at the 52-second mark, there was nothing between them through one round of this sequence.
I think they probably know that this one is going to be coming down to who can hold on the longest. For the guys, it's who can burn the bar down the fastest. For the girls, it's been a different story. The girls have gotten into the second round, and here they are, kind of slow and steady. I think truly, once they figure out who's going to die and when, it's going to be a matter of time.
Still no separation between Stone and Milligan as they get into the second set of thrusters. You see the speed of Milligan's thrusters on the right. It's just a movement that she is particularly good and fast at, so don't be surprised if she always gains about a rep there. But Kelly was able to reel that rep back in on the pull-ups. Now Kyra in this round jumps up and will have a 2 or 3 rep advantage. As we're at the minute 45 mark, a minute 15 to go. When they come off of this bar is when we're going to see that kind of 2-minute turning point that's been the pattern through the first 3 matches.
Still together, going to the third round of this one on the box. Kelly's a bit slower on the box. She seems to have a slower pace overall, but she's not far behind.
She looks poised, almost controlled, and she's also looking at the clock. You at home can see the clock between the rig. There's an identical clock on the other side of the floor that the athletes can see when they're looking at the camera. And she was looking at that pretty intentionally. You may have just seen Kyra also looking at it as she made her way over to the barbell. We're at the 2:25 mark. Both women picking up the barbell once again. I would think that if they can both hold on, Kyra will have that 1 rep lead, but I don't think we're going to have more than 2 or 3 reps between them by the time this interval expires.
I think once you get to that, final minute, if there's not at least 7 reps, you're not going to have that 14 reps ahead, so you're going to go to the second interval. Maintain the damage control here going into round 2.
Yeah, last 10 seconds of the interval, just ticking between a 4 and 5 rep advantage. Kelly's going to get all these chest bars done. It's about how many reps Kyra can get on the box, and she goes to the rebounding tactic right there at the end. And this is what, you get into the flow of competition, and the competitor comes out, and I think that's what we saw for Kyra there right at the end, trying to get a little bit of an edge. And for all that effort, it's only 3 reps.
It's only 3 reps, and she looks to be breathing a little bit harder than Kelly here. They're both, good competitors, good athletes, great friends. But Kelly looks so composed, kind of like a panther in the jungle. She has not made her strike yet.
Panther's one of my favorite animals, Black Panther in particular. Did you know that about him?
I don't know. The more you know.
Always like to watch the athletes. At Reps Ahead Pro 2, we had a lot of rounds as the sequence produced that kind of competition. And to see the little nuances and intricacies different. Kelly almost right away going to the water to keep kind of the mouth fresh and get that dryness. Kyra waiting much later in the interval, but both athletes getting some water there, back up on their feet with about 10 seconds to go, and they'll start back exact at the start of the sequence. So they don't start where they left off. It's back to the start on the box jumps.
Kelly's picking up pace here, looking faster than she did in interval number 1. Still where she was, 3 reps behind.
Yeah, I think, but I'm guessing here. If we get a chance to ask her, we can. But I think that Kelly knew that this was not going to be a 1-round knockout. And if you know that this is going to a second round, then being able to just keep the heart rate as under control. I don't want to say low because it's going to be spiked. We got chest to bars and thrusters. I don't care how good you are. The heart rate gets up. They keep it as low as possible for as long as possible and wait for the opportunity.
Wait for your opportunity, but also she's a local athlete, so she's used to competing in this altitude. Brian, when we worked out earlier, I had the worst case of cotton mouth I've had in a minute.
Yeah, and personally, we did a 6-round workout. It was in the 3rd round of that workout where the elevation just kind of hit me like a truck. We'll see if, as we get further into this, that happens to Kyra. But Kyra sticking with the rebounding box jumps here. She didn't do it in the first part of this round, and now she's almost smiling and stopping. Yeah. But she did pull to the 9 rep ahead mark there for the first time, and she has been a little faster on the box. 2 more box jump overs for Stone, and Milligan ripping through these thrusters again. Despite that little slowdown on the step overs, no slowdown on the thrusters. She's 9 reps ahead. You may be able to hear the crowd picking up. And if she can knock out these 12 chest to bars in 1 set, it may not matter what Kelly does.
I don't think it's going to matter, Brian. Here she goes, Kyra Milligan.
Phil always briefs the athletes on working past the whistle. She went to 14. She did another rep. And at the just shy of the 2-minute mark in round 2, Kyra Milligan went from having almost no margin to getting 14 reps ahead and knocking Kelly Stone out in the first pro card of the night.
Hey, that's games athlete brain right there. There she goes.
I honestly can't wait to get her over here and find out what was going through her head on those box jumps. Because she went for the rebounds, then she stopped and smiled and looked at her judge. And I just need to know what was going on in her mind.
I think she was tired. I think it was I'm tired. Do I have enough to hold on? She did.
It certainly looked that way, but she finished the box jumps and then she basically went into attack mode. Rushed those thrusters immediately on the pull-up bar. And she looks to me right now like she's teetering on the edge between pain and happiness.
All right, Kyra. What was the game plan?
Look at that quad pump. My legs are tired just looking at it. Ouch.
Yeah, PC on the mic tonight asking her what the game plan was, and she said there wasn't really no game plan. Just to go out there, feel Kelly out, and look for the opportunity when it came. And, I mean, as far as we could tell, that's what she was able to do.
Well, you heard Malachi. He had to completely change strategy based on what Marconi had told him in the beginning. So maybe a game plan isn't totally necessary to win this.
Yeah, Marconi told us he had no nickname, but now maybe called the Deceiver.
He's a liar.
I don't know. It's always also interesting because when you're back there in the warm-up area, it's just you and your opponent. What kind of conversation is there? Is there that little bit of cat and mouse? I'm going to tell her this, but I'm going to do that. Either way, that was the first pro card, and we've now had 4 matches of John, which is the sequence for tonight, and no match has made it out of the second round. Kyra's just having a word with her coach. We're going to try to get her over here to get some insights from her about that. So give us a second to try to get her over here. If you guys didn't see the lineup for today, that was the 4th of 6 matches. And the pro card for the men is going to be coming up next. It is slated to start at 4:50 Mountain Time, local time here in Colorado. That's about 12 minutes from now. And we are going to stick to that time frame in case there's anyone that's tuning in specifically for any one of these matches. You guys may see the crew in the background adjusting the pull-up bar heights, changing out the barbells once again, and giving the athletes a chance to get situated and acquainted with the floor. Kyra has finished up her little debrief with Kiefer, and she's going to slide in here to the booth and join us.
Oh, God. Hi.
You all right? Kyra Milligan taking down Kelly Stone in 2 rounds. We heard you say to Patrick, no real game plan prior to the match.
Yeah.
But, once you get into the flow of it, you probably start to have some kind of a thought. At what point did you know that this was going to go at least 2 rounds?
From the very first, there's no way with Kelly being as fit as she is, it wasn't going into the second. If you're an athlete that can make the games, you can work really, really hard for 3 minutes and keep up with someone.
And you obviously have qualified for the CrossFit Games this year. We talked to you in the interview prior to the competition this week, but you've pretty much been able to maintain your games training and still come out here and do this. Has that been the experience?
Yeah, it's been really fun. Yesterday, this gym welcomed me with open arms. I got my full day of training in. This morning, every single one of the competitors came out and did you all came out and did my morning session with me. So, it's been
For better
great.
or worse?
For better or worse. Only 3 of you, including you, Brian, finished. Bella backed out
She
on
worked
me.
out
Paige
beforehand.
told me she wanted to do 4 rounds. We were a team here.
I have to ask you about one specific moment in that workout. So was it your last set of box jump overs? You started doing some rebounding box jumps, and then you stopped, looked at your judge, and smiled. What was happening at that moment?
My legs were jello and I had nothing else, and I just looked at him like, please let Kelly win right now.
But kind of the opposite happened because you did take that pause. You came to a full stop, but 40 seconds later, the match was over.
So I think the biggest thing for me this year has been build awareness ever since Rome. Like I've said a couple times, I didn't have a lot of fun there. Wasn't really in it. Dubai, I think I was the competitor kind of came out in me, knowing where people were, picking them off. At semis, I knew for example, I knew Bethany was going to be better on the double unders, but I knew if I ran faster, I would out front squat her. So just little things like that. And then with this, when I stopped and I was oh crap, I'm done. I looked over and I saw Kelly looked a little bit non-composed. The entire workout, she was so composed. And that time I saw a little bit of fear in her. I was all right, gotta keep going.
So talk me through that. So you're used to picking athletes one by one down to win a heat, to win an event. You only have one person to either run down or that is chasing you for intervals. So it's not even that long of a piece. How do you go through that as an athlete? And what are you thinking about? What's the chase like?
Honestly, I'm not probably thinking about a lot. More so just I know how short I am. I know how powerful I am on a bar. So chest to bar, box jump overs, we were rep for rep. And so I knew if I could out squat her by 1 to 2 reps on the thruster, I'd be in a good spot. And hopefully have her try to move a little bit faster than she wants to on the other things.
What have you learned about yourself as an athlete through going 1v1 here?
That even if it hurts and I want to quit, I can't because you don't know how everybody else is feeling.
A little bit of a different competition experience, but it sounds like a pretty valuable one.
Oh, it's so fun. I would definitely do this again. It's a blast.
So the games is coming up, Kyra. What are you going to do next in preparation? You've done reps ahead. What's next for you?
Gracie Walton and Bailey Martin get down to Vegas on the 1st and the 10th. And so it's just a really good crew of games training. And I'm super, super excited.
Good people.
Good people.
Good company.
Good people. They just want to work hard and get 40 days left?
Got some time.
Yeah.
I know there's people counting, but
Well, I only saw it because I saw somebody's post saying 40 days. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, that's good.
time to lock it in.
Time to lock it in.
Well, you certainly locked it in tonight. Congrats on the win. 1-0 in your reps ahead debut, taking down Kelly in the first main card match of the night, pro card match of the night, and a little extra money in the pocket. Were you thinking about the winning bonus at all when it was hurting out there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to help pay for my travel to the games.
Well, it is a great opportunity that Phil creates for the athletes. We are honored that you decided to come and show up and put on a show tonight. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking time despite being tired to sit here with us and
Thank you.
tell us a little bit about it.
My heart rate's finally down, so that's nice.
All right, Kyra Milligan
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Kyra. Sorry.
out of Las Vegas taking the win, knocking out Kelly Sohn in the second round. We've had a couple matches, 4 matches so far, none of them gone through past the second round. And I think that, the sequence has basically created that scenario. I still think there's a chance we see a 3-round.
I hope for the athlete's sake we don't. But I will say, it's not about redemption this weekend, apparently.
Yeah, the Redeemers have not redeemed so far.
Even much.
And we got 2 more opportunities for that. Nick Matthew and James Sprague will be coming up next. And again, we have 2 athletes that are at very different stages of their respective CrossFit Games seasons. We're going to step away for about 2 minutes. And this match is set to start 6 or 7 minutes from now at 4:50 Mountain Time. Sprague versus Nick Matthew coming up next.
Hi there, my name is Michael Mayali, and I have the privilege of working with this incredible team putting on Reps Ahead Pro 3 for you today. I want to say thank you to them, thank you to you, and thank you to anybody who's been a part of getting this event series to where it is today. If you'll remember, we do these events to raise awareness and support for the New You Cares Foundation in an effort to provide healthcare, nutrition, and fitness services for free to members of exceptional communities all around the United States. Since the last Reps Ahead Pro event, we have been able to do so much work that in the month of June alone, we have provided over $67,000 worth of healthcare, nutrition, and fitness services for free to veterans and first responders. If you would like to support that, please text Renovo to 801-801. That's Renovo to 801-801. With that said, we hope that you enjoy the event today, and we cannot wait to see you at the next Reps Ahead Pro event in the near future.